I'm Ian Hutchinson. I'm Professor of Nuclear Science and Engineering at MIT. I'm actually a plasma physicist, which means that I study incredibly hot gases, ionized gases, gases hotter than the center of the sun. And the ultimate purpose of that study is to try to discover whether we can bring the energy source of the sun and stars down to the scale of human life and make it available for our use on Earth. And that's the idea of fusion energy. That's what I study. I've been here at MIT on the faculty for a little over 30 years, and this field has more or less been the focus of my studies for all of that time. Well, I think the questions of philosophy and theology have been of interest to physicists over the entire history of science. And I think that there are many, many great scientists of history that you could point to who were Christians who were very interested in theology. I mean, Isaac Newton himself wrote more about Bible interpretation and theology than he did about science. He didn't necessarily publish it, but it was a sign that the meeting of theological and philosophical discourse within the person of scientists is not at all as extraordinary as many people would like to portray it today. In fact, I think that there are some very deep reasons why those interests resonate with one another. I think that the biblical worldview that we as Christians inherit is, in some respects, uniquely hospitable to the development of modern science as we know it, and that historically it was important in the development of science. And I think if you look over history and consider people like, for example, James Clerk Maxwell, whose equations are at the center of what I do in plasma physics, the equations that govern electromagnetism, which is what makes plasmas what they are. Here was a person of deep religious faith and deep philosophical knowledge. He studied philosophy before he went to Cambridge University and became the world-leading physicist that he was. And he saw the Christian faith and philosophical discussion as being a vital part of his intellectual life, and he pursued it throughout his entire career, and that didn't in the least prevent him from being the world-leading physicist that he was.